Cool. Standing here talking to Joe Gingras about Shaun White Skateboarding.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. So you can run us through some of the cool features of this title.
Yeah, well, you know Shaun White, of course, skateboarding extraordinaire. When we started working with him 3 years ago, right off the bat, Shaun really wanted us to allow the player to feel how the skaters see the world. And you know how, like, we see a park bench, they see a grind and all that. So he wanted to allow the people to see that, and also to see all the little cool things that the skaters are like, oh, if this was kicked a little more like this, I could probably pop a trick and line this like this. And in order to do that, in order to reveal the skater vision, we had to have a before world. And the before world is set in the ministry, ruled world, and it's an authority imposing a regime of boredom, taking away all life, fun, passion, and risk. And it's the skater's job to bring it back. So we do that with what we call the influence. So as you skate around, things start revealing themselves around you. Show right away.
So it's kind of like the saboteur.
Pretty much. Except that with the saboteur, it's probably just color coming back. Here we have stores opening, we have vegetation growing, and mostly we have skateboarding opportunities popping for me, which actually are part of this skater vision I was talking about earlier. So you can see this popping kicker in front of that car. Now I can pop over it. And you're going to quickly see that what I've done so far, it really makes a drastic difference between the before world and the after world. But you see those green things in the level, that's what we call shaping, and it's the biggest feature in the game, because what this allows is that it allows the player to essentially create their own little skate paradise on the fly. So other games, yes, pretty much had, offered you the chance to create your own setup, but it was kind of, a hassle to do it. Now all you have to do is pop on it and steer, and there you go. You create your own grind and connect things together and make your own skate park. So that's one good thing about it. But if I go back to it, it's not only a virtual thing, it's an actual concrete object that can skate again. So this is one of the bigger transformations in the world where we actually show that we're making a difference here. So you can see that the kicker's popped, you got a curvy grind like that, but also life is back. And you can't hear it, but before it was Muzak, and now it's good rock and roll. All right, so if I go back to this grind, as I was saying, I can skate it again. But the best thing about it is I can go back to it again and reset the whole thing and create a new path. So boom, I reset it and then I connect it somewhere else. And I can access new vistas here where I can see opportunities I couldn't see before, like in the heights. You can see this little roof ledge here that I can go on now. So there's vert shaping like that, just right on it, and that's it, it grows. There's ground shaping. And as I showed before, there's also the grind shaping. So I connect those things together, and it allows me to just complete one of the objectives that were necessary for me. You can see my flow bar here, which initially is a feedback of my performance and the influence I have. So it's kind of an area of effect thing where the more I'm influencing the world, the more my flow bar is big, the more I'm influencing the world. So that's one of the cool features. So imagine, saving this level, going back to it, and the skate park is still there. You can play with your friends and have fun with that. Working with Shaun White, it was a good thing. It was very important to have very authentic skateboarding because he really wanted to keep it real. So one thing we did was we motion captured Shaun's moves to make sure that we had the feet positioning right and rotations and the position on the skateboard. And so we have now an 80+ trick library of skateboarding.
How many skaters are in the game?
We have one pro skater, who's called Shaun White. You probably know him.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
But we also have a create your own skateboarder. We don't have any other pros because it's its own little reality here.
Right, so you just keep the focus purely on Shaun White skating and then building your own worlds.
Yeah. Another thing important for Shaun was that this wouldn't be just one of those skate games where you go from amateur to pro and you just, free skate and complete challenges of tricking on specific, modules and things like that. He really wanted this to be a skateboard adventure. So he's a big fan of Family Guy. So we hired a writer from Family Guy called John Viner to create our own script. So this gives out a pretty goofy story with crazy characters and everything, where Shaun gets kidnapped and you got to go and free him. So you start off, you create your character, you're part of the ministry like everybody else, but you get sparked by Shaun, who's a prisoner now, and in your quest you join the resistance. And it's an awesome game. And what you see now, this whole plaza here represents about 1/8 of what we call a district. So all the connecting streets actually go somewhere to another, plaza or area where you can skate to. And we have 5 of those in the game. So the director of the game, was playing earlier this week, and he could complete the game in about 10 hours, but he knows the game inside out. So depending on the skill level, it's probably going to be out to a single player experience of 15 hours. And then you also add to that multiplayer, adversarial, and co-op, also split screen and online, where you can, influence, de-influence, you steal people's shapings, and you can, play with how much flow you got and the points and all that. So it's going to be, you also have capture the flag. So it's great game. Endless replay value, just starting from the shaping, and great authenticity. So last thing I want to show you is the amount of assistance we have and the simplicity of the controls. Because this is one thing that we found as we studied the other skate games on the market. They really had an accessibility level that was pretty high. So you had to know skateboarding to make your way around in the game. And you also had to be pretty good at controlling a joystick. And we wanted to take that away. So right now, controls are super basic. I push forward to pump. That's why you see this little blue feedback coming out of me. And then all I have to do, I can rotate just like that. And if I'm not exactly dead on, it assists me to complete without bailing. And if ever, I start a trick too early and I can't finish it, it's not the end of the world. Check it out. Hold on, I'm just gonna make that happen here.
I think you might be too good at this game.
And then boom. See, I just bail on my knees and I keep going in the flow. It's not it's not one of those things where you crash and it's frustrating and all that. And then I can just grab by going left, right. All the directions actually have their own grab. And we also, of course, added Shaun's signature moves in there. So we have the armadillo. That's one of his own moves. And it's super simple controls, but of course, we also understood that hardcore players probably could find us a little too shallow. So we also have the tricking mechanic with the flicking, like we have in other skate games, and adding more complexity with the R2 button. So it gives out something like, maybe like this. So it doesn't take long to master. It's fun to play. It assists you so that you feel good about your skateboarding. It's very, very good.
Cool. And when's it coming out and what's it on?
It's 360, PC, PS3, and PC. So let me start that again.
Yeah.
PS3, 360, and PC. Also available in stereoscopic 3D. Ships with the game, so you just pop it in. You have a 3D TV. It works. All available on the Wii, but that's a different team that developed, so it's a different game, but the same philosophy. And it shipped this fall.
All right, great. Thanks a lot.
Thanks to you.
Cheers, Joe.